bunch of there's that character Dot that Stephanie Weir would do.
I don't remember what she did.
Remember they added her. Stephanie Weir was like that. That was in like the middle of the run of the show. She was one of those cast member editions.
Yeah, she had like a weird face.
Yeah, but
Stephanie Weir.
I forgot how funny she was.
I forget who she is.
She had kind of like a weird like jaw thing going on.
Yeah, she has a very kind of severe Willem Dafoe.
Yes,
style thing.
yeah. She was funny as shit.
Yeah.
She was
But
funny as shit.
I was showing,
her.
I was showing somebody that the sketch she did where it's her and her I guess like it's some like fucking upper middle class lady, and she's sitting there with her friends and she's talking about a self-defense class she took.
Mm-hmm.
And then you know what? Let's just go ahead and roll the clip. And this is where, hold on. If you're listening at home, go on YouTube and pull the
Yeah, we're not going to do it
Mad
for you.
TV YouTube self-defense class, and we'll wait.
Yep.
You want us to do your emotional labor of pulling up the clip?
And we'll sit here, and that'll probably, I think that clip is 17 minutes long.
Okay.
So we're going to...
You know, I'm looking at her filmography and shit here. She did not work enough. She's funny as shit.
Yeah, I know. She's on some ABC sitcom, but other than that, I don't think she's done anything.
She does like guests, get like one episode here and there places.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't really have any big roles, I don't think, in any movies. It's fucking bullshit. She's funny.
Not only was she really funny on Mad TV, but like the manner in which she was funny was kind of like, what's it called when something's like before its time? Or Adam's not allowed to answer.
Fuck.
It's
not prescient.
Not prescient. Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, we were both thinking of it
because it's not like
it's not. Yeah, she's not predicting it or anything like that. Or
it's sort of not necessarily cutting edge, but it didn't. It feels very kind of contemporary and modern now, the way in which she would.
Is there one word for ahead of its time?
There is. There's a word.
That kind of wraps it up nicely.
There absolutely is.
Fuck. I'm really coming up. I'm really drawing a blank.
Yeah.
I'm even willing to lift the Adam can answer.
You know what I didn't understand is, and who are they taking Sunday back from? The Jews?
Yes. Well, no, Jews got Friday, right?
Saturday. Yeah.
But then they tried to...
Do Muslims get Friday?
But hold on, the banks closed on
That's
Sunday.
interesting that we all just kind of were like, oh, the bank's closed on Sunday.
Yeah, so we know who's really running things.
No,
so they gave themselves two.
They took an
2
extra day.
days.
They're like one day for hanging around, and then another day for not going to work.
Yeah, it's called the weekend.
It is interesting that
well,
we
the
all
weekend they
picked.
stole the weekend from black people. Everybody knows that.
No, that's not true.
Yeah, it is.
Jews did?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, the Yoruba came up with the weekend.
And why is that funny?
What?
Why is saying Yoruba funny?
Well, I'm just saying it's like an old African thing. What are you doing
It's not
right
an
now?
old African
Me?
thing. It's a type of African person.
I'm firing on all cylinders.
All right.
I'm checking in.
Aren't Yoruba like isn't that just a group of people in Nigeria? Or
Yeah.
something?
Oh, go ahead.
I think you were thinking of an Yakubian.
Yeah, Yakub.
Yeah.
And you said Yoruba.
Yakub was the evil white devil.
The evil white scientist
Yeah.
that created white
I think he
people.
was just a scientist. Yeah, he was a black guy.
He was a black scientist.
Was he a black guy who invented white people?
He was a black version of the guy from Crash Bandicoot.
Yes.
That letter N on his head.
Yeah.
Neocortex.
That's Yakub.
Great name.
And they're like, he has been branded with the word you cannot say. That's their Voldemort.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yakub.
You can't say his name. And then one boy, Black Harry Potter, was born, and he was the only person that could say it to his face. And that's what destroyed him.
Wow. Getting called the N-word?
Yeah.
by Black Harry Potter?
By Black Harry Potter.
Dun 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 dun.
You're
dun,
a Harry.
Dun dun. Well, Voldemort.
I'm a what? You're a sayer. You're a sayer, Harry. I'm a what?
Bum 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 bum. It's interesting that the Abrahamic religions all picked a different day of the weekend to have their day off.
Yeah.
Okay, I love you.
That's
awesome.
when we have our word of the day, which is, of course, then time it comes up, you gotta hit it with
Yep.
yeah.
Ah, it's like in fucking Pee Wee Herman
Yeah.
where it was Scream.
Pee Wee Herman's racist playhouse.
Well, bicycle, guess who we're getting mad at today? The Basque.
The Basque, wow. So he really
Fuck that, I'm spinning again. Dot heads.
Okay.
Heads. And then we'll go back and clean it up. in
Okay,
post.
in post.
Okay, I love you.
It's fucked up that Jesus is in the like. Isn't he also in the Quran? Isn't he like a minor
I think
character?
they like Jesus too, a little bit, but
I'm
not as much as
confused.
Muhammad.
And why isn't Muhammad in the Bible then? Why can't we do a crossover?
Because it came after.
1400
Oh.
years later.
Yeah.
The
Interesting.
Quran was written in like the 1800s.
Really?
Yeah.
Emily Dickinson wrote the Quran.
Mm-hmm.
That's
A
awesome.
white woman.
Yeah.
Mormonism is funny like that. That's
Yeah,
like way
yeah.
too late for you to
Way
be.
too late.
Yeah, I mean, you should know.
And he's also like, and by the way, God hates black people.
Mhm.
He's also he just throws that in there.
There's a
A
punishment.
little contemporary,
yeah.
Moors.
You know, to relate it to our times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Shouts out. That's a great scam that guy's got going.
Looking in the magic hat.
Brigham Young or whatever his name is. Is that
Joseph
his name?
Smith.
Joseph
yeah.
Smith.
Bring
Yeah.
him pussy young.
Bring him pussy.
Bring him
Bring him
pussy.
pussy young.
Bring him young pussy.
Bring him young pussy. That's
I'm
where.
starting a new religion. And before you, because I know this is just how we talked.
Oh, the Mormons.
I understand he was a white man, but he talked like this.
The Mormons in 18 whatever the fuck.
We were the ones that done come down with speaking like this.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Why'd he pick Utah?
Because they
it was
kept
free?
getting kicked out of everywhere
Oh,
else.
damn.
Yeah. And then they saw the lake, and it looked like it was a beautiful, fertile
But it was a salt
area, but
lake.
it was made out of
Like
yeah.
Adam's ass. His pregnancy ready
Yeah,
ass.
my ass is like
It's
a
just sopping wet at all times.
yeah. It's like the
It's so
Tigris
inviting.
in the Euphrates.
It's so inviting.
They
from-
call it the Fertile Crescent. That's where agriculture
There's
began.
a bunch of Spanish guys with pointy hats looking for a fountain in his ass. Whatever those things are.
Yeah, yeah.
Remember
What
that-
does make that
I think
sound?
it's a peacock.
No,
Some kind of jungle
can't be.
I thought it was a
That's
monkey.
that's happening in Adam's ass right now.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Swinging through his pubes like vines.
I would love to have an ecosystem in my ass.
Well, you sort of do.
And then it's
You have a
kinda-
lot of dead. You have a lot of babies in there. If you catch my drift.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Come.
Well, that's not what makes a baby, dude. You need a lady.
Yeah.
Stop. That's where you're mistaken again. You need a lady.
You have half babies in your
inside
ass.
Adam's ass, there's a bunch of babies being born, and there's a grand old wise owl that's guiding them through gestation.
Mm-hmm.
And he points through the window to Adam's dick, and he's like, "One day your dick's going to be that small when you're a baby." And
The
then-
window from his ass to his dick.
Yeah. Now I was like, if you look, you can see that.
And it's the owl, by the way, from the
Tootsie
lollipop
Pop, yeah.
commercials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many licks?
Of course. He's a jungle owl,
Yeah.
and he's instructing the babies in Adam's ass.
Mm-hmm.
He's teaching them.
He's walking them through.
manners, like Stanley Tucci and Mrs. Congeniality.
Right. And Mrs. Congeniality.
And
Yeah.
Miss
She got married.
Someone made an honest woman of her.
Yeah, somebody got called dibs on that pussy.
Instead of
Yeah.
being some slut FBI agent
Yeah.
I would
giving her
love.
pussy out to everyone.
I would love to have sex with Sandra Bullock. Let me throw that out there.
Mm-hmm.
And
If,
even
Sandra, if you still listen to CumTown,
which
Yeah.
she did in
I
the
think she
first
quit.
3 years.
2016, 2017, there was some buzz. We were hearing chatter.
We're hearing a lot of
We're
chatter.
hearing a lot of chatter and buzz that Sandra Bullock not only listened to the show, but would masturbate to it and had sexual fantasies
About me specifically.
about a couple of guys on the show.
Well, yeah.
Not
Well,
one of them that
one of the guys.
one of
One of the guys that weighed as much as the other two guys. And that's what you meant by a couple.
who waited.
Waited.
Waited
The guy
as
who
much
waited,
as the other
who
two
waited,
guys.
and so he's the guy who's never waited tables, which is you. and the other two guys combined.
Adam never waited tables.
Then I
Oh
waited,
no, I've
and I'm
never
the
been
only-
in service.
And you
And
never
I'm-
have either.
Yes, I have.
You were a pizza guy.
And a pizza guy at a half-service restaurant.
That does not count.
Which
That does not count.
You were back at house.
I took orders and I brought the food to the tables. That's a fucking waiter.
Did you get tipped?
Yes, and I also happened to, make the pizzas sometimes.
Okay, you were
Yeah.
definitely not a waiter.
That's a waiter.
You were just worked at a shitty pizza shop. That's all.
That's what a waiter.
That's not
is.
what a waiter is.
That's what a waiter is.
That's not what a waiter is. And the point is,
Johnny's Pizzeria.
He was a
Glendale,
garçon.
California, which I was eventually fired from.
I think
you
I
worked at Glenn's Penis, California. when
Anyway,
you sucked
Sandra
a guy
Bullock
named Glenn
would,
off
would often fantasize
about fucking me.
about going on a romantic cruise with me on Lake Travis in our beautiful multi-million-dollar Austin home, where she revenge fucks me to get back at Jesse James for canceling Monster Garage.
Oh, that's what she's mad about at him about.
I think that's what the story was. That's what in my memory, they got divorced because they stopped doing new seasons of Monster Garage.
Have you maybe fused your memories with Sandra's?
Well,
Is that maybe what you're
We're-
mad at him about?
I think we're so spiritually connected that maybe our memories have become fused, much like our genitals.
I don't care anymore.
And
I don't even
holy
want to fuck her.
fuck Ramona.
But you didn't either.
I did fuck her, and
No.
then you don't. That's why you don't want to fuck her.
No.
anymore.
you fucked her and then
Like,
she stopped listening to the show.
She stopped listening to the show because Stav wouldn't stop emailing her, and she's
I
like,
don't even have her email.
she's like, I'm sexually obsessed with your business partner. This is highly inappropriate
You had her email.
for
I
you to
didn't.
be emailing me.
I didn't.
And somehow these emails are getting
If
chocolate
anything,
over my other
Nick,
emails.
Nick
I don't
was,
know how that's happening.
That's
But I'm
impossible.
looking at Gmail and in the list of emails.
None of this. I don't even
the
think you know
other-
Sandra Bullock.
There's chocolate on your email, and then there's
How would I
emails
get chocolate
My
on my
computer is
email?
covered.
on the screen.
I could
there's-
maybe get it on the keyboard,
There's fingerprints.
but how would that go through the email?
I open my other
It's
emails
called
next to
malware.
this one, and there's chocolate on them.
you open your emails next to this one.
You got next to this one in the list. If I hit next email, there's still residual chocolate, which means you.
Is it on the screen? What do you mean there is
It's
chocolate
on
it?
the email itself. I might have to call up my old customer service number that I worked at, and harass people that work for the company. Like, there's chocolate on my email. Okay, I can keep those guys, that poor bastard, on the phone for an hour doing that.
That's what we call a little hazing. You know,
Yeah.
you made it out, but that doesn't mean life has to
Yeah.
be easy for them.
Hey,
Yeah,
Kid,
it's like the
Kid,
guy
I'm
that
just
comes
giving
back
you a
to the
hard
high
time.
school.
Mm-hmm.
Kid, I'm just giving you a hard time. Let me tell you what's going to happen. You're going to get fired from that company, and 10 years later, you're going to start a podcast. And that podcast is going to destroy your life in a different way.
A different way. You won't be worried about money,
The
but
money is
things will become
the money's
much
on
emptier
lock.
somehow.
You'll always have health insurance and a place to live, but everything else sucks.
Some of the other harsh truths of your life will be revealed.
Yeah. Then you have to work on yourself, and I'm not doing that. So hence the phone call and keeping you on the phone
That's
for an
why I've
hour.
been
pretending
here.
There's chocolate on the phone. Is there? Do girls work there? Yeah, put them on the phone.
I'll Venmo you $100. Put a girl on the phone.
Put a bitch on the phone.
Put a bitch. Bring them young.
Yeah.
Bring that pussy young to
Yeah.
me.
First of all, I ain't gay. I ain't getting no tech support from another. So you better put I want a bitch on the phone now. Just prank calling places with my own beat. Let me tell you something. I don't want no tech support from no. So you better get
Put a bitch on the
put
phone.
a bitch on the phone now. Listen, I got my own hold music.
Fuck. Goddamn. Nuts itching, is that a health problem, would you
No,
say?
it feels good, dude.
if they
It
itch
could be.
too much?
No, that's a simple pleasure that the world gives you so that you can
feels real good to
I don't think it feels pleasurable.
scratch your nuts up.
Dude, I didn't stop like I had my hands like perpetually in my pants until I was like 24.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started wearing like real pants, not basketball shorts, probably when I was like 24, 25.
Mm.
And then recently I've been getting back into just walking around with my hand in my pants again. And
That's awesome, dude.
you know, like just like ungluing my dick from my balls. And my leg
feels
constantly.
nice. The unglued does feel this.
Yeah.
The peeling off,
The peel, yeah.
peeling your dick off your thigh,
And then
your nuts off
pulling
your lower, your
pulling your
butt cheeks.
Yeah, pulling your nuts off or scratching yourself. That's big for me.
Grabbing your nuts, and
Grabbing,
kind of scratching them deep with the nails.
just grabbing your nuts and pulling your dick off your balls. You know, moving
Kind
your
of
dick
stretching
in-
your nut skin out, and
stretching
getting
it
an
out.
extra deep stretching
Yeah.
scratching one spot. Really pinpointing exactly where it itches and going to town.
Yeah, putting your flopping your dick over the other side.
Flopping your dick up, you know,
Up, yeah,
for the
up.
waistband sometimes.
Then pulling the waistband, scratch the bottom part. of your dick.
Bottom of your dick
That's
needs
a
a little
nice
love
one.
too.
Bottom of your dick.
Bottom of your
I've
dick.
actually been getting into. I've worked on my hip mobility, scratching my balls with my foot.
Oh,
that's
And
awesome.
Kicking on
Asian style.
kicking on them like a dog.
At the very bottom.
Yeah.
Because the forbidden scratch, the dangerous scratch.
I get my,
Oh, that's good.
my
Like a
leg
dog.
going.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I get my leg going. I scratch my nuts.
You get a nice
And,
little scratch.
And people are like, "Excuse me." I'm like, "I got a mask on. What fucking more do you want?"
Yeah,
Now you what? There's new rules now.
Oh, I can't pop my balls at the bottom of my shorts and scratch them with my heel now.
You know what I want to see on the train? I want to go on the train and I want to see a homeless guy with his pants completely around his ankles masturbating in a woman's face, but he's got a mask on.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That'll
show
that
them.
would make me feel like a New Yorker.
That'll show them.
I don't know. It wouldn't show anybody, but that's the kind of that's New York. You know,
Absolutely, brother.
where the thing about New Yorkers is when it really comes down to it, we'll take care of each other,
That's so fucking
and we
true.
learned that on 9/11.
We're not nice, but we're polite.
Mhm.
Yeah. My first time back on the train a couple months ago.
Yeah,
a
the
guy
other thing I
had
say
a-
is the West Coast, everybody, or California, everybody's straight, but they're gay. And
Right.
in New York, they're gay, but they're straight.
But they're actually
right. They
straight.
do it in an honorable way.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Everybody in New York is straight, or in California, everybody's gay, but they're gay.
but they don't
and
get
in New York,
pussy.
everybody's straight, but they're a faggot.
In California, everyone's gay, but they're gay.
I'm trying to remember the expression that people. use.
That's what it is.
I think
It's something like that. Everybody in California is a fucking piece of shit, but everyone in New York's Italian.
Yep. Mm-hmm. That's what it is.
Speaking of, I went to Defani's again this week.
How was it,
How
Chief?
was
CumTown shout out.
What'd you get?
I get the same thing every time.
Godfather?
No, the one with the eggplant and all the different.
That's a good one.
The one with the eggplant and the meat.
How far is Defani's?
It's probably
It
20
depends
minutes.
what time of day.
From Astoria, it's
Oh,
probably
it
an hour,
depends
right?
what time
Yep.
of day.
Yes, it does.
Oh, you
Where is
don't
it
think-
in Red Hook?
Red Hook.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude. That's
From
so
Astoria,
far.
it's a little bit of a hike.
Fuck my ass.
Yeah.
How about Blastoria?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Blastoise?
Blastoria, and it's made out of cum.
I don't want to live somewhere that's made out of cum, dude.
I think Jackie's spoken.
About Smacky Chan, and he's
okay.
like, "Oh, I can't do karate. I do too much heroin.
Oh, that kind of smack.
Oh, I'm gonna do karate this week. Don't worry.
Oh, funny, Jackie.
Okay, I'll do karate.
I
This
could
week.
start anytime I want.
Yeah, just let me lay down here on my mattress, my bare mattress, and I got my little lamp. on my mattress. I feel good. Where's my 1998 Best Buy special boombox that I just listen to mindless self-indulgence on.
I'm going to watch DVDs of Malcolm in the Middle. I'm going to watch season 3 DVD.
When I was living at SRO, there was a guy that moved in who was like some kind of handicap, but just one of those guys that's like, you know, like if like cancer was like a baseball team and they had a mascot.
Yeah.
You know,
It'll be this
like
guy.
just a guy just like with like 9 IV bags and giant arms that are all swollen.
Mm-hmm.
and he would just like the mattress on the floor would just drink, like Steel Reserve Tall Boys and smoke in his room and watch MASH.
Jesus Christ.
And I would just hear in his room that like and then like, gee, is this your penis? I thought it was my penis, and then him just like just fucking dying laughing.
Just waiting it out, waiting out the clock.
Simple pleasures.
Mm-hmm.
What is that song? It's called "Suicide Is Painless."
Yeah, that was such a funny place to live.
Yeah,
there was
an
another
office
guy
building
I really didn't
that the Chinese
get to know
shouldn't have
very well
rented
at
to
all.
people.
There was like a Hispanic or Middle Eastern guy who was younger. He's probably my age. He's probably like mid-20s at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Who would always like put on like a suit and go to work.
Are you serious? In that fucking building?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah,
And
saving money.
I remember there was like a month where I bought internet off of him because he somehow had like a T-Mobile hotspot or something, and like I had to go in his room, and the walls in his room were made out of that material that's like not pegboard but like slot board. Like where you can hook like retail.
Oh yeah, yeah,
displays up there. So he like lived in a T-Mobile store. Basically.
What was on the other side of his room? Other people's rooms, or
yeah? I mean, is that long hallway? Did you ever go over there?
I did.
Yeah, it was that long hallway, and then
yeah, you didn't have your own bathroom.
Yeah,
or kitchen. Yeah.
There was the communal kitchen just had like a microwave.
There was a stove that had like one burner.
No refrigeration though.
And then
right?
the gas was like basically tapped into illegally into like some other bill. Because I heard Con Edison come by there one time, and there was a guy at the end of the hallway. He's like, "There's fucking people living in here." He's like, "Look at this fucking shit." So,
yeah, it was a wild place.
Yeah, it was
Remember
a truly terrible place.
Remember that place on 2nd Avenue blew up?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
In the East Village.
Yeah, so Con Ed was doing like I guess they were like, okay, we got to make sure no more buildings blow up.
Yeah.
And it was shortly after that they like sent guys around, and then that's when those like inspectors showed up. But I think that was also when the building was sold, so that could have had something to do with that.
I remember visiting my various friends in New York and being like, getting ready to move.
Yeah.
And the one that gave me serious pause was your living situation.
Yeah,
where I was like, what the fuck is this motherfucker doing?
Yeah, it was truly terrifying. A terrifying place.
But at the
to
same
live.
time, I was like, yeah, that shit. I'm not surprised Nick's living there.
Yeah.
Low overhead.
Hold on. I'm living in Manhattan.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
You're like a Sex in the City.
yeah. You're fucking Carrie. You're typing up your little articles.
Yeah, with smoking a cig.
Smoking a cigarette.
And that's when I
having
realized.
sex with a man named Mr. Big.
Yeah.
A regular Carrie. It was, listen, when we were walking around Manhattan, it was nice. And then we got back to your room, and I was like, God damn.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I had to spend one night here, I would maybe kill myself. Let alone...
Yeah, but I mean, you're like, I was there so rarely. I'd wake up, get my work done, and then I was just out a man about town for the rest of the day.
Yeah, that's true.
Seeing things. I just ride
Man
the train,
about town.
go to a park, read. That was actually, honestly, probably the best year of my life.
Did you have ringworm the whole time?
I had ringworm the whole time.
Yeah. And bed bugs.
Yeah, I had vicious ringworm that I could not afford to treat. Until, to his credit, Andrew Short, remember that guy?
Andrew Short.
Who's that?
Or maybe Andrew Smart? No, it was Short. I always said he was a short guy, and I'm pretty sure his name was Andrew Short, but then I'm like, that can't be right.
Right.
So I'm like, is it Andrew Smart? But then that's like an Elizabeth Short Andrew. He was a good comic. He was
From where?
funny. He's from here.
Here?
Yeah, he was a guy here who did comedy here for a while, and he was always funny. And then
Maybe we didn't overlap.
he was writing on something, I forget, but I haven't seen him in forever. He said the funniest thing one time. He said Mother's Day is just Valentine's Day for Italians.
That is a good one.
It's very good, yeah.
Salute to Andrew Smart or Short.
Whatever is funny.
Whoever he may be.
But I was like scratching my arm, and he's like, "Oh, you got ringworm?" I'm like, "Yeah," and I can't. Lotrimin's like fucking $17 a tube, and he's like, "Just use Vicks Vapor Rub."
And it
I was like,
worked?
really? And he's like, "Yeah, it's the same shit."
What?
And I just put Vicks Vapor Rub all over mine because it's like, yeah, it's just petroleum jelly and then like fucking menthol or something.
That'll
So
cure
you-
ringworm?
Well, yeah, it like suffocates it. So I just went
Nice.
around all lubed up for a week.
You're looking shiny as a bitch.
Yeah. It's fucking- people are like, it smells like a cigarette factory.
You were living in that when we had the famous. Did we go to the book? Was Adam at the bookstore? Was he not at the bookstore?
We're gonna relitigate.
I mean,
I'm just giving
that's
people
still
some
on-
historical.
Yes, that
it's
was
still
contender.
ongoing.
I know.
And it's funny because stuff like that happens.
Yes.
And like throughout your life, people are like, "Who would just make up like 6 million people dying?" You know?
Right,
Who would
yeah.
just make that up?
Yeah.
And you're like, of course, like denialism.
Same
is absurd.
thing. Yeah.
And then to what degree he's so adamant that he was at the bookstore
Hmm.
when we know he was not. We know that.
We don't have to.
You know
go
what
back
I like
into
is
this.
I'm at a place in my life where I've completely surrendered to knowing or not knowing anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to me, it's Schrodinger's Adam,
Yeah, I don't care.
where he
either.
was or he wasn't. He was
I don't
both.
care. I don't care the most, honestly.
No, you care
Yeah,
a
I
lot.
care I care the least.
If I were you, I would care the most.
Why?
I wasn't bringing it up. I wouldn't have brought it up.
I'm giving people some historical color.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Letting
no,
them
no,
know.
that was good for them.
I was
I'm
living.
giving some people some historical color.
Uh-huh.
And that's the podcast that this is launching today,
Her story. Historical color.
Yeah.
starring
Star Jones.
So we got Star Jones.
Yeah.
Tom
on the mix.
Jones and Lasagna Davis.
Lasagna Davis. That's Jim Davis's wife's
Yeah.
name, actually.
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah, he's into
Garfield
black
loves
girls.
lasagna.
Yeah.
Jim, what you doing in there? You drawing that cat again, Jim? Okay, I'm going to the store. What you going to be in here drawing that cat? All right, I'll see you
Why
later,
don't you
Jim.
stop drawing a cat? Let me give you some pussy,
Why don't you
Jim.
come?
Uh-huh.
You going to be in for dinner?
Yeah.
Of course I'm making lasagna.
Arbuckle's
What you mean am I making lasagna?
Her name is Lasagna.
How you
She
finna-
makes lasagna every day.
How you finna ask me if I'm making lasagna? Of course I'm making lasagna.
Okay, honey.
Yeah. No, I'll see you later. Oh, Jim just got home. I think he's gonna be. Yeah, he's drawing that cat again. He's in there drawing that kitty cat. You know,
That would be such
my
an
mama
awesome
said he was a simple
relationship.
man. I didn't really believe her, but it's going on 25 years now, and he's out in the garage just drawing that cat. I think he might be retarded. I think he might be mentally retarded, but it's okay. He's got $6 billion
my man got a job.
from the calendars. It's the calendars that made him all the money.
Oh, fuck, man.
I love you.
Damn, I fucking
Damn, I would love lasagna.
I smell terrible.
Why?
I don't know. Sometimes I rarely get BO, but sometimes I do.
What do you think it's a symptom of?
Actually, you know what? I think I let a woman wear this shirt, and then
she smells like
Yeah,
she
shit.
smelled bad.
A stank ass bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smells like rotten ass pussy over
A
here.
lady of the stink.
And her pussy smelled so bad it got to the armpit part of the
Oh
shirt.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, armpits are the pussies of the shoulders. Yeah.
Absolutely correct.
You
That's
might,
what
I might have
people
put
call
this. I put this shirt down on the couch before I let a woman sit down in here.
That's probably what it is.
Yeah.
And then,
You don't want to get her wet pussy all over.
well. Then I put
Ew.
on.
Yuck.
I put on
Yuck.
videos of gay porn, and then women soak the shirt, and then I go, okay, leave, and then I jam it in my face while I
Uh-huh.
jack off to the gay
To
porn.
try
Yeah,
and
blue velvet
reprogram yourself.
stuff.
Reprogram.
Yeah.
Your eyes
Uh-huh.
make your dick hard, and you're trying to override it with your nose to turn you straight.
It's working.
Every day you're 0.2% straighter.
Mhm. That's good. Conversion therapy.
Mm-hmm. Jim,
Okay.
Jim, get in here and give me some pussy.
Jim, let me get some boy pussy.
Oh, you drawing a dog now too?
Oh, he
huh?
got a dog, a little
and then-
friend.
and now there's a man in there, and he owns a kitty
Who the
cat.
fuck, Normal?
Normal's her sister.
But I thought the cat's name was Garfield. Oh, it's a dip. There's 2 cats now. You know, Jim's really coming along. He's got a whole little universe.
Damn. Normal's gay ass.
Mm-hmm.
How dare Normal not be a girl?
How dare her?
Mm.
It's a boy.
Yeah. Well, you know,
It's pissing me off.
Jim
Turned me
Davis-
kind of
Jim
gay. I wanted
Davis-
to fuck Nermal as a little kid.
I wanted to fuck Tweety Bird.
ahead of the curve.
In terms of NB,
No, that's the word
Trans.
we were looking for at the beginning.
ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did we say?
Prescient.
No, ahead of her
Ahead of our
time.
time, but that's
It's
too.
basically
Kind of the same
We said
thing.
we were looking for one word.
It's ahead of the curve.
No, there's one word for sure. Fuck. What is it?
Pre-temporal.
No.
That
Maybe
doesn't
it.
work.
Maybe there isn't one word.
Ahead of the curve scratches that itch in the same. Feels like I got my heel cocked up and I'm kicking at my own
Kicking your
balls.
little
as I
Mhm.
say.
sack.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I feel like I got my fat little thumb scratching at the bottom of my nut mole. I got a mole like Cindy Crawford on my balls.
I got a mole in my shaft.
That's disgusting.
That's gross.
What do you
balls
mean?
is
It's
cute.
like it's not a mole. It's a birthmark.
balls is
fucking
cute.
disgusting.
Birthmark.
What do you mean?
So your cock was squeezed so much by your mother's pussy
Just
that
hold on. Just don't
It's
say
cute.
it. Just stop. This is fucking disgusting, dude.
Shut the fuck
I
up.
have a big mole on my penis.
It's not big.
Come on, dude. This is a respectable show.
Oh, okay.
Show.
This is a respectable show.
I'm trying to watch my shows, and my wife Lasagna keeps coming. I'm trying to draw my kitty cat, my wife Lasagna, who's black by
Who's
the way.
black?
Yeah.
She's black, by the way. I purchased her. I mean, well, she, I took her out on a date.
I bought her stuff.
I bought her stuff because in the black community, people cost money. That's an expression that I came up with. Actually, that's a Jim Davis original. You can put that. Put that in your cap like a feather,
Mm-hmm.
like a little Indian, like a Native American feather.
Mm-hmm.
No, there's nothing to be embarrassed about, Nick. And you,
100
you can't shame me
synonyms.
for it.
100 synonyms for and antonyms for ahead of the curve.
Let's hear.
Lead, above the average, ultra modern,
No.
highly developed, cutting edge.
Cutting edge is close, but that's not really what I'm looking
No,
for.
none of these are good. Trend setting.
You can say-
Trend setting. No, that's wrong too.
No.
It's like pre-temporal.
Groundbreaking.
Pre-temporal is not the answer. All of these,
Innovative,
but see,
pioneering.
pioneering's close,
Closer.
But
But
the
it
problem
doesn't mean
is
it's
all
not
of
in
these,
its
all
time.
of these, like, are that just means like the first in a series, rather than
Yeah.
something that's like sort of out of its time, but predating.
Yep. Yes.
You know what I mean?
There's
Like
gotta,
something,
I feel
something
like
that's
there's
not appreciated at the time because it's.
futuristic,
Mhm.
advanced, contemporary. None of these are good.
You know, like going on Twitter and calling. This is the most recent example. Calling Noah Berlatsky a pedophile
Right.
years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which some people were doing, which at
Right.
the time
That's prescient.
seemed a little. That is prescient, but
Yeah.
it's also a matter of style, because it's also a cool guy to be.
It's
And then
great-
it turns
it's a
out
cool-
he
it's a
is
really cool
he
guy
is
to be.
in fact a. What was the deal? He worked for like a pedophile organization.
Yeah, he was their comms guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, prescient is not it.
This is great. Some bitch named Cheryl Paper. Like
Uh-huh.
there's some other guy named Nick Mullen who I think is a Australian guy or a British guy or something. Because for years I've been getting his emails.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
with
they're
his
all like
kids
they're all.
thing.
Well, I think that's a different lady. That's some French lady. This is some guy that owns property,
Mm-hmm.
and I get like emails.
You should get the deed. You should steal his house.
Well, so I don't know, but this property manager named Cheryl is asking me like, "Oh, we need all these pet agreements for this," and I was like, "Cheryl, what are you doing this weekend?"
Cheryl Paper.
Cheryl Paper.
Cheryl,
She's
I'm about
like-
to fold you up in the origami and eat your
She's like,
pussy, bitch.
I just checked my emails this morning. I think you sent this to the wrong Cheryl. Thanks.
Well, you're responding to her.
And I was like, "Oh, well, I'm saying, I'm gonna say, wow, geez, I hope not."
You're about to get this Australian motherfucker fucking brought up on pussy, trying to get pussy charges.
Yeah, they don't have free speech
They
in
don't,
Australia.
dude.
You can't talk to
Oh,
a
and you
bitch.
should be like, and by the way, the lockdown is immoral.
Yeah.
Now, that'll really get him in trouble in Australia.
yeah.
I don't think we should have a lockery deal.
Oh,
I
I
don't
hope
have
not. Wink, smile.
This probably some old fat bitch that's really confused.
Yeah.
This guy she's probably never met in person.
She's
Yeah.
calling the government.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Whatever. Get your email right.
Yeah, bitch.
You're
that's
the
what
one that
you do.
emailed the wrong Nick.
You should ask for pictures of her pussy next.
No, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it cool.
All right. Maybe just a picture of
What
her
if-
smiling.
What if Cheryl is extremely hot?
And you get to fuck her at the end of this?
Yeah.
That would be a big win.
No,
she's
she's,
like-
not
she's
allowed
like,
to leave
Well,
Australia.
I thought you were emailing the wrong Cheryl because my pussy is sealed by magic.
Oh, fuck.
But you've unlocked it.
Only somebody that has the power to say the special word.
What a beautiful world that would be, man. If the only way you could fuck a hot girl is by saying the N-word.
It's called Rella.
Or
Oh.
blank punzel.
Yeah. Well, Rella works better.
Yeah, it sounds good.
That does. And actually, it's called Rella Man, starring Russell Crowe.
Right.
Yeah.
What was Cinderella Man about? Not about Cinderella at all, right?
Yeah, it's about some like just middle-aged guy that decides to be a boxer and then he's actually good at it.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
that's it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of those movies that's like,
Like Ford versus Ferrari meant to make dads feel good?
yeah, kind of make a guy that's middle-aged. Like they should make a movie about. I guess American Sniper was kind of like that.
What do you
Where they're
mean?
Like you're too old to be a Navy SEAL.
You're
Like,
too good at
people
shooting.
people get to the middle age. It's a midlife crisis, I guess, where they're like, I could, you would say, especially somebody that started young, all these guys that would show up to do comedy.
Absolutely.
When we were 19, they were like, I'm 33, and it was always my dream to do comedy.
Right.
And it's like, okay, well, I'm a savant.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't have a choice.
Yes,
People don't like me.
that's right.
Mhm.
And I'm a fat, likable child
Yeah.
that doesn't want to work.
Yeah. Oh, you had something you wanted to do, and meanwhile you had a life and a family, and you're telling me how lucky I am that I'm going to cruise through my 20s as a fucking alcoholic,
Yeah.
pursuing something that is ultimately worthless. And the second it becomes profitable, it'll immediately be destroyed by mainstream, participation.
Yeah. Getting life advice from those guys was always the most brutal.
But the thing is like, they're not wrong. I mean, all those guys outside of comedy had normal lives that were fine.
Right.
And
Yeah.
not that you have to like
I
sacrifice
think
things.
some of
for-
those guys had pretty bad lives too.
sacrifice things for art or whatever, but for at least in terms of the lifestyle of being a fucking comedian, it's like, yeah, if you really want to do comedy, unless you have the money to move to New York or something, like right away, you got to move to another shitty city and
Right.
figure out how to be a
Mhm.
road comic, and then that's also a dead end in its own right, but
Absolutely.
you can get good, and then
That's why, like, when I was in Portland, there's just, like, motherfuckers that just have regular-ass lives and just, like, do stand-up.
Uh-huh.
And they think they want to be good at it, obviously, but they don't. It's not like they're ever going to move.
They're kind of happy with where they're at.
yeah, in Portland too, it's like Portland's one of those cities that had like a little hot streak, that like the Ron Funches, Ian Carmel
yeah.
era.
Right.
And then it's like, will that happen again? And it's not dependent on how good the comedians are in Portland. It has everything to do with like, do the Comedy Central reps like hanging out in Portland? Is Portland going to be cool again?
Yeah.
That same shit happened in Austin.
Totally.
It's like I was like, it's funny because I remember when I was in Austin, all the comedians would be like, Austin's really becoming a hub. Austin could be a hub. They would say that. They would use that word all the time. Like you might not need to move to New York or Los Angeles. It's just people like outwardly, playing out their delusion that like, I actually don't ever need to actually be competitive.
Yeah, I don't
at
have
the
to take a
thing.
risk.
I don't have to take a risk, and I also don't have to like measure myself against the people that are better.
That are actually the best at this.
to
Yeah.
do this professionally.
I've reached the pinnacle.
And then, like, in a roundabout way, that fantasy came true through all this political culture war bullshit and Joe Rogan being like, Austin's actually the fucking OK Corral or whatever happened in his
It's
mind.
the new
Well,
LA.
no, it was.
That
I
you
don't want to
think-
pay taxes.
Yeah.
But there's still taxes in Texas.
Not compared to fucking LA.
Not state
No
tax.
ta-
the
no state
property
income tax.
property taxes are pretty high.
There's no way it's anything compared to LA. Plus, no
Yeah.
state income
Well,
tax.
either way, I mean,
It's
Austin-
happening in Nashville too, apparently.
Should we move somewhere with no state? Should
No,
we go to Orlando?
We should move
Florida?
to
I'm-
Nash
I'm-
Vegas, dude. I miss it.
I'm never going to leave New York City, and if I do, I'm going to fucking China. I've already said that.
That is the funniest part of Corona is that you were going to go to China for like 5 weeks.
Yeah.
They robbed.
I remember
They
that
robbed
plan.
us of that.
Yeah,
dude.
we were gonna go to
We were gonna have
Australia,
a
and
fun.
Nick was
we were
gonna.
yeah.
Nick was gonna go find himself.
That would have been
I was
sick.
gonna find myself. I was gonna go to China on
Have a
vacation.
good time in
Yeah.
China.
Well, maybe you would have found yourself along the way.
It's not a spiritual journey. China's cool. It's the best country in the world. It's the fucking future. Everyone should want to go to China.
I am interested, but I want to go to Beijing. I want to go to a big ass city.
Yeah, I was gonna do that when I started in Beijing, and then work my way to Japan, Korea.
Other parts of China. The other cities in China.
Yeah,
Beijing, Japan, Korea,
San
Thailand.
Francisco.
Yep.
I remember it was funny. I have a cousin that I don't know. It's like there was like a family dinner one time, and she was a full grown adult. I mean, she was like in her like early 20s, maybe she was like 20, 21.
Awesome.
And we were at like you know what? I wasn't there. I just heard about it, but they were all at dinner.
Mhm.
It was a Chinese restaurant, and I don't know how it came up, but she was like, "Japan, that's like in China.
Oh, hell
Japan is
yeah.
in China. It's a part of it." And I was like, "What the fuck?" And now she's married to a Korean person.
Wow.
And has Korean children.
That's awesome.
You know, so
So she
came full circle.
Yep.
so true.
So now she's Chinese.
Korea, which is
Yeah.
which is actually part of.
Yeah, I'm trying to go to fucking Seoul.
Yeah. Oh, well, you can figure out whatever my point is.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
no,
You
Tom.
guys can figure it out.
Because I definitely have
he
one.
means something.
I mean
by it.
something. In a
It's not just funny
in
to
a
think
Stephanie
about.
Weir sort of way.
Yep.
Sort of
Predestined.
Predestefano. Predelatanzio. That's what it is.
That's what we're looking for. Where's Predelatanzio?
Predelatanzio.
It's like it's one of those words. There's no English translation.
Yeah.
Like sprezzatura,
Mm-hmm.
which is a great word.
Is that a Greek word?
No, it's actually Italian. I'm really
It's
jealous.
It sounds
It's
good.
basically swag.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sprezzatura.
That's nice, dude.
Which you have no sprezzatura.
Yeah.
How do you know?
And I'm all sprezzatura.
That's not true.
It's completely true.
I've spoken to Italians before.
And they probably fucking
Mhm.
despise
They
you.
said I'm like a black Italian. That's
No.
what they've told me.
There's one guy
They're like,
who's
you're like
trying
the
to-
black version of us.
No.
Yeah.
Adam
Not at
contributes
all.
nothing to the show other than to say that something cool about himself.
I'm just gonna not say anything ever again.
No, come
I
on.
just can't even open
Just
my mouth.
believe in yourself.
I
Adam.
can't do it anymore. Nick's,
Yes, you
No,
can.
it's not true. Now Nick's got his little fucking minions.
What
What
minions?
minions?
I'm like,
I
fucking-
say anything.
I don't have
I
minions.
say anything.
He has no one in his life.
I
I
have
can't
no
do.
one.
I'm not.
I don't even know where the cat went.
Where is the cat?
I
by
have
the
no
way?
idea.
We
That's
saw-
right. Where the fuck is it?
I don't know.
I'm not gonna say anything ever again, dude.
Dude, chill out.
Because Nick just says, "Shut
You're
up."
bumming me out.
I try to
now.
bring donuts. You tell me to shut
First
up.
of all, no one. I thanked you vociferously
Uh-huh.
for the donuts.
Yes.
How I just said they weren't a replacement for lunch. That's
yeah,
all.
That's true.
Which was I wrong? And by the way,
And I didn't sugarcoat it. I said, "Fuck you."
they were great donuts.
I'm sick of this.
I did you a favor, and I expressed the honest sentiment in the room. Because I didn't want my good friend Adam thinking, "Are people mad at me?"
No.
You goddamn right they are.
They were very good donuts. I kind of want them again.
Well, you're never getting them.
I
again.
can fucking get them myself.
I'm never
Yeah.
doing another good deed.
There wasn't a good deed.
Yeah, stop with that. You're a little too far on
I'm
trying
never
to give yourself
doing
credit
another-
for
I'm
you
never-
know,
It was an
what
apology.
a Herculean feat.
It was
you
an
did.
apology.
I just have a heart of
and you
gold.
apologized for the wrong
I'm
thing.
just crucified for my heart of gold, much like our Lord and Savior.
Well, don't you even try and take
Yes,
him
and
after
it's
what
true,
you
I
guys
am.
did.
Actually, you were Brucified.
yeah,
For the Lord
Bruce.
and
guy named
Bruce
Bruce
Jenner,
Valanche.
and
Oh,
he turned
him.
into a woman.
Oh, nice.
And and after
So
they chopped his
crucified.
cock off,
Mhm.
they made you eat it,
Yeah.
like for lunch.
Did he do that?
Of course, I think so.
She-
Remember when they put him on
I
the
think
cover?
she got her cock.
They
chopped
put her
off.
on the cover of Vanity Fair
Mm-hmm.
because they didn't have they were just starting to they just struck oil as far as trans people go. The media.
Right.
They got a couple of drops and they were like, put this on the front, and then it turned out to be the worst crop of the season.
Yeah, it was.
Was Caitlyn Jenner.
Oh, you mean the
Actually-
worst trans person?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because she killed somebody.
Killed somebody, and then it's
It was
also
a
just
dumb
a
bitch.
fucking rich asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
at the triathlon or whatever the fuck in the 70s or the decathlon.
Yeah. American hero. Twice over, I think. Chopping one's cock off is
I watched.
second feat.
I put
I don't. You're right. I don't know if she chopped her cock
I
off.
put a mice.
we don't know. We don't know.
know.
I put a mice cement on to fall asleep to the other night, and I was laughing, imagining like a family and the son with Down syndrome. That's his favorite movie.
Mm.
'Cause
Yeah.
it just came on TV, and the dad always has to like rush in and turn it off for the last 5 minutes. He's like, "Oh boy!" He like edits in his own credits.
Yeah.
He just cuts it. It's the scene where the girl's like, "Why don't you come out into the barn with me?" And then
I'll give you some pussy.
Just the letters, the
Yeah.
fucking names going up.
And we love you so much.
Mhm.
You think she would have given? Do you think maybe there's a chance she wanted some retarded
Of
cock?
course.
That's in the book. I mean,
Oh, really?
yeah.
She fucks him?
Yeah, that's why George has to kill him, because he doesn't, like, he fucks her to death.
I thought he just choked her.
No, in the book, he's like, all that puppy shit they added for, like, the movie. But in the book, he's like a retarded guy that just, like, he's just fucking constantly.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah, like a
Yeah,
James
and they keep
Bond.
going.
No,
to-
you guys are trolling.
No,
Yeah.
they go from, like, they go to farm, and he's fucking
You can't
Oh,
stop
really?
getting pussy.
They're selling
yeah.
retard cock.
Yeah.
That was a good. Yeah, that was their good grift.
Yeah.
Mhm.
George held the keys to the retard cock.
The next James Bond should be
Retarded.
a retarded guy with a
they
big
said
dick.
it's a black lady, and
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Diamonds Be Forever is the new.
I don't think they've announced it.
No, they haven't.
No, they have.
Mm.
They already did.
I think no, that was a fake thing that people were
You've
getting
been got.
outraged
You've
at
been
like
got.
3 years ago. Yeah.
No, this in the last week there was another headline about like the story. They already have the woman picked out. Like, there's an actress.
I don't
I
believe
think
that's
that
the
they're
case.
deciding on the next Bond right now.
I don't believe.
think
I believe you're mistaken.
Albert Broccoli's son
I have
or
a
whoever
Google
runs
alert
it.
for James Bond.
James Bond, Black Lady.
Listen, if she gets pussy, she can be a black woman. I just need to see breasts. Actually,
Yeah.
do they even show breasts? On
Well, they
James
have
Bond?
been floating the idea of a games Bond. Apparently,
Oh.
they're like they should make him gay, which is like that's.
I gotta walk.
Come on,
Can't,
come on, bro.
Can't we have anything anymore?
They got to take everything from us.
take everything.
They have to take literally everything.
I just want to watch a guy get pussy and
Uh-huh.
shoot people.
yeah.
And I'll watch a guy get cock and asshole and shoot people,
Mhm.
but name it something else.
Yeah, the night
Actually-
Bond is tracked down by a woman named Nomi, who has succeeded him as the new 007. So this is the movie that's out now. Is there's already a black lady James Bond?
Yeah, but I think they're
Yeah,
deciding
but
on a new
but I'm
Bond
wrong.
for the
Oh,
new
but I'm
movies.
wrong.
Yeah,
and-
you are wrong.
You are.
No,
Yeah, you
you're
are
wrong.
You're wrong.
Fuck you. You're wrong.
Fuck
Suck my
you.
dick.
You're
dude.
both fucking
Fuck
wrong.
you.
Suck
I'm,
me
ta- I'm
off.
taking
No,
my.
You'll
I'm,
never prove it to me.
I'm taking my agency back. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Look at her name, Lashana Lynch.
That's a cool name.
That's a
So
cool name.
I don't even need to. I know exactly what this lady looks like. Jim
Lashana's-
Davis's wife.
Lasagna Lynch.
Yeah, British actress. She's best known for playing fucking something, and Lynch made headlines for her role as Nomi, the inheritor of the designation 007 from the retired James Bond.
Okay.
In the 2021 film No Time to Die, I will
It's not. It's.
I will not be gaslit
It's not
by
certain that she's.
an ethnic liar and a man overdosing on chocolate.
I didn't
ask you
true.
this.
I
Have
didn't
we-
know Adam was overdosing on chocolate.
have-
Yeah, and I
Have-
didn't know that Greek people are
Have
constantly lying about
have we
everything.
mentioned Stav going on Girthright to the M&M store?
Potentially.
I feel like that's come up, but it popped into my head.
Yeah, Stav hooked up with some
I'm going
chicks
on
on
a-
Girthright.
I'm going on a
did.
Girthright
Yeah.
trip to the Entenmann's factory outlet. Where I get the regular
First
shaped
of all,
donuts.
there's one in Astoria.
Uh-huh.
Oh man, I gotta make a trip.
There's a. Actually, I don't know if it's still there, but there was a brick and mortar Entenmann's in Astoria. On where the fuck was it? It was like
On Boulevard.
no, I think it was on Broadway, but like Broadway, like 44, maybe it was 34th Avenue.
Mike and I hit.
You know where Adam lives?
Yeah, let's hear
on
it.
Broadway.
Frogway.
Broadway.
Broadway,
Broadway.
yeah.
And
Nice.
he puts on plays. He puts on musicals and plays there,
I told you that in
like
conference.
Rats
Right.
or what is No Country for Old Men a musical?
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
The Phantom of Sucking Another Man's Penis.
Yeah, Rent, but it's just about
Bent.
people
It's
paying.
about
Well, you could
guys
just do a
curved cock.
Jewish
he's got
version
a
of
bent.
Rent.
He's got a bent asshole.
Okay.
Oh, his asshole's
Yeah.
bent.
He's got a bent asshole.
Yeah.
So he shits on this into his own pocket.
Interesting. So he's shitting fully
Yeah.
clothed. Yep.
Les Miserables comedian. Le Miserable comedian.
Joseph and the Amazing Suckle-Color Nightmare
Yeah.
Dick.
Suckle
Okay.
colored penis.
Yeah.
So we're doing gay or not
Joseph
Jewish.
and the Amazing Suckle-Color Dream Penis.
That's
Okay.
really good. What are some other fucking Broadway plays? Dear Evan's Penis.
Yeah.
What's that?
The one that just came out with that old motherfucker that plays a young guy.
I never heard of it.
Dear Evan Hansen.
I don't know.
Shut the fuck up. You've heard of it.
I don't keep up with the Broadway trades.
You're out of your fucking mind. Everyone was making fun of this guy because he's
Everyone
48
makes
years
fun of
old.
it. Whatever he's saying, it was happening.
You don't know about it either.
I know about everything.
You don't know about it.
You know
You just
me.
sit in your dark apartment.
And I fucking watch TMZ,
You just-
Entertainment Hollywood,
He keeps up with the trade.
Access Hollywood, Entertainment Tonight.
Yep. You know how like some guys have like four different TVs for different sports games?
Yeah, he's got all
He's got-
gossip shows.
He's got fucking Mario Lopez. He's got fucking
Ryan
Harvey,
Seacrest,
Ryan
yeah.
Seacrest.
Remember during the peak of COVID when Mark Wahlberg got in trouble for hanging out with Mario Lopez without a mask on?
Yeah.
I don't.
It's so funny that's like
They're
of all
probably-
that's finally what got Mark Wahlberg in trouble
Yeah.
was hanging out with Mario Lopez.
Well, because you
without a
know
mask
Mario
on.
Lopez was having unmasked gay sex throughout the entire
No,
pandemic.
he was he was gimped up.
You think
If
so?
he had a gas mask on that's
Yeah.
hooked up into going into his own ass. He's
But I
just-
feel like Wahlberg wouldn't
he's
fuck with that.
recirculating.
Didn't somebody see Mario Lopez having gay sex in a bathroom?
Did they?
I think I heard that.
Wow.
I think that's the rumor around town.
And I'm going to just listen to what he says about the celebrities news now. Knowing
what-
that, they've tainted that in my mind.
That's what all celebrity gossip is, aside from like the professional celebrity gossip. Is like that guy's actually gay.
Actually, he's gay.
That's true.
Yeah.
Damn, you think we could fuck Britney Spears now that she's free?
I hope so. No, she got engaged, apparently.
Fuck.
Yeah.
To who?
I don't know. I got a New York Times update about it, though, on my phone. That's what the fucking paper record is covering these days.
Shit, hold on. Go off, Adam.
They don't want to fucking cover this scamdemic. They don't want to tell us the truth, so now they have to tell us some fucking mentally ill lady got
Some
engaged.
bitch got
Some
engaged.
dumb bitch.
Okay, I love poo.
Oh, shit.
I love eating shit Chinese style.
They don't seem to be a big shit appreciating culture in the way
Yeah, Germans or
Japanese.
Japanese or
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you mean like scat porn type of stuff?
yeah.
What are there any like specific
It is
Chinese
funny- it is
sexual
funny that
hang-ups?
that is
I think
the-
that
that
they
is the-
procreate asexually.
That is the end of the road for fascism.
What do you mean?
That's a good point.
It's shit eating. Well, they
Although Italians don't
I used to
eat
do
shit.
a bit about
Italians eat shit for sure.
You don't think? No. I don't think they do.
They do.
that. Yeah, they do.
They're not. They're too passionate and loose.
Yeah,
I
I
used
just
to-
don't want you to know
A
that.
shit-eating thing is like the mark of a super advanced society that's tried everything else.
Mark of the Wahlberg.
Italians are still sort of.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna get a tattoo. It's like What would be 666? Like 666. But what the fuck? Just
Was that the cat?
I don't think so.
I think it's someone in your hall. I used to do a bit about that, about how that the Nazis tried fascism and all they had left was to be guys that are into Shiza parties.
Do you want to do the bit? on the
No,
show?
I'm just saying that, you know,
Well, go ahead, do the bit.
I'm just saying that was, you know, in the
Something fall
rotation.
over or something? What the fuck was that noise?
I thought it was the cat.
I thought it was something in your hall.
Yeah, it sounds like something in the hallway, like a ghost, maybe.
Do we have a gun?
No.
Are you allowed to have guns in New York?
No.
Absolutely not. That's why.
Apparently, there's like actually some sort of like 18-month like paperwork process where you can actually technically get one.
Yeah, but I mean, it's even to get like, you have to, first of all, like the most annoying part of the process, you have to basically write like a love letter to the police department
Oh,
explaining.
fuck that.
Yeah, you have to tell the police why you need a gun, which I mean, who gives a shit about
The police can suck my dick. I'll
It's-
have a gun if I want.
Yeah, that's the thing is like people are like, and I used to be this way. It's like, well, the Constitution is important, you know.
Yeah.
But they can do whatever they want. They can make any fucking law. If you can do that
The
with guns,
Constitution is actually gay.
if you can do that with guns, if you can say you have a Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then, the municipal government can also say like, oh, and not unless we give you permission to do it, which is what
Mhm.
they're saying.
Right.
Then it's not a right. You know, if you're not like a convicted felon, you shouldn't need to justify. Like rights shouldn't be justified.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So it's like, what's stopping them? It's like, oh yeah, you have freedom of speech, but before you say anything critical about, you know, I don't know, like whatever, pick anything. I don't
Yeah.
care. Like I guess the most recent thing would be vaccine mandates. You had to write an essay to the New York City Police Department explaining why you would want to criticize the vaccine
Mhm.
mandates, and then you have to pay $700. And then in 6 months, they'll send you a letter determining whether or not they've decided you're allowed to say it and in what
Yeah,
circumstances.
the
you're allowed
letter
to
is
say it.
certainly the fucking absolutely most little dicked portion.
Yeah, so it's like it's kind
I
of
love writing
it's-
love letters as it is.
it's
so.
kind of dumb to think you have any kind of rights, and what you need to do is just do what you want,
Mhm.
and then be quiet about it, and just be a criminal.
Yeah.
You know
Or
what I
go to
mean?
China where they don't even pretend you have rights.
They don't even pretend. That's the other thing too. That's sort of the
That's
appeal.
freeing.
And that's the thing. It's like, you know, a lot of people are like, well, what do you want, a social credit system like they have in China? And it's like, so it's, well, we already have a credit system, which is worse.
Yeah.
Uh,
It stops you from actually fucking getting shit.
yeah.
Actually, I don't know how their social credit system works, but our shit is fucking gay over here.
Yeah.
Okay. My dick is small.
Okay, I'm a fag.
Okay, I love you.
I'm fucking hungry.
Yeah, I need to piss and figure out what that fucking noise was. That's gonna bother me.
You think it was a ghost?
I think it was a ghost.
You think it's haunted? Has anyone died in this
Mhm.
building?
I can't wait to be a ghost. It is funny to imagine because, you know, ghosts they're from hundreds of years ago.
Right.
Right.
So it's like some like 5'4" guy dressed like the Quaker Oats man.
Mhm.
Yep.
Just going around your house being like, oh, boo. Mm, boo.
That's true.
Have doth thou seen my tights? Boo. Boo.
Boo.
That's how everyone talked back then.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they were yeah, I guess every ghost is racist.
Yeah. Every ghost also is like, you know, they have to do one thing to free their soul to get into heaven too, you know. So Nick is going to have to figure out what that is while he walks the earth. Maybe it's being nice to your friend Adam.
I am nice to you.
No, I don't think
you're
that's
not.
it.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
I
I'm
don't
also nice. In what way am I not nice to you?
You're constantly mean to me.
I'm not mean to you.
I would say the way you talk to him.
The way you talk to me.
That's how the way I talk to everybody.
Yeah. The way you fixate on
That doesn't make it
personal
good.
life.
Am I fixated on your personal
A
life?
little bit sometimes.
In what way?
I'm not going to talk about all this stuff.
I'm
Well,
not-
you just did, Adam.
You
That's
just
your
did.
problem. You're onto something, and then you always got to take it one
Mm.
step too far.
Yeah, it's true.
See, because
Everything you say to me,
what you're doing right now,
I'm one step over
what
the
you're
edge
doing-
and I'm about to break.
what you're doing right now, I could easily, just in kind, say you're being mean to me when all you're doing is being critical,
What do you
which
mean?
is not necessarily mean. And that's all I ever do to you. I'm critical of certain aspects of your behavior, namely the fact that you're Jewish.
Well, that's not an aspect.
Yeah, that's a
an
really good point.
That's an aspect.
That's just
That is one aspect you could really change, Adam.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
some
could
folks
do
might-
some self-reflection.
Some folks might call that anti-Semitism,
Uh-huh.
which only furthers my case.
No, I think
Because then it means it has nothing to do with you.
I think
and
that
it is
lets you off.
inherently non-person.
I think you're letting yourself off a little bit. But
So you think by virtue of being anti-Semitic,
But the fact that I am a virulent anti-Semite
it's actually
proves
when you factor that
there is
in,
nothing personal. In fact,
and when you
and
factor
I'm
it
a
in, you're
very-
really nice to
I'm
Adam.
a very good friend. To you.
Yeah.
that's true.
I just happen to be horrifically racist.
Right,
I think that
which no one will dispute.
No one will dispute that. So take that, fucking faggot.
It's so true.
Yeah.
Is that Adam or
to
just
the Jewish people,
Or
just the
That was to
rhetorical?
the state of Israel.
Well, I got a little fired up there. So that
That's
one
all
was-
right,
All
man.
right, that's fine.
That moment, I was trying to give it a sort of a certain a little flair.
little fucking stank on that
Je ne
bitch.
sais quoi. No, I don't make
Yeah.
anything personal. I mean, other than that weird mole on your dick or
Yeah.
Just
or
it wasn't a mole; it's a birthmark.
okay.
And that birthmark has gotten me out of
What's
a
the
lot
difference
of.
between a birthmark and a mole?
A mole is raised, perhaps. A birthmark.
How do you
is
get a
just-
birthmark?
You just have them your whole life. And that birthmark
it
has
from-
gotten me out of a lot of police lineups types situations. So
The baby penis rapist has had it again.
yes, but
he
did
doesn't
not
have the
the
mole. Well, but this is
Yeah,
too small a dick anyway. We didn't even really need the mole.
yeah,
This is clearly too small a dick to be the baby penis rapist.
yeah. It's true.
But I guess the mole does give us an extra reason
yes,
to
this is not
eliminate
the
him.
fetus penis rapist.
I think with this
This is not the before it
is-
becomes a penis or vagina in gestation rapist.
your way. You're mad
Yeah.
at me.
Now
for
he's
calling-
defending himself.
I am defending
Now he's
myself.
gone into the
Am I not?
defensive.
Am I not supposed
Once
to defend
again,
myself?
I've pulled another string.
Of course.
Continue.
Here comes the rest of the thread, motherfucker.
Mhm. All
All right,
right.
tug on shit.
All right, Pinocchio, my beautiful boy. Continue.
The Pinocchio was autonomous. What is it? What is that? You
Yeah,
wanna
but
call
I
me a puppet?
created you. I'm
It
an old
doesn't-
Italian man who created you.
I don't care. Yeah, here it comes.
Yeah, because I wanted a son.
What you're mad about is you took it personally
What took what personally?
that I called the coffee bean.
No, that's not true. I've changed my mind on this. I've changed my mind on
fully
this.
expecting this guy to say no, we don't
Of
have.
course.
I in my mind, and then I was going to say, you've paid this man. You've
Right.
fucking paid him
Right.
off. That was going to be the joke,
Mhm.
and then it was in full display.
He said that they
Now the
quiche.
audience, who for years have seen me as the villain,
Right.
as the lying villain,
Of course.
Yeah.
in a roundabout way, I'm vindicated, and everything "quote unquote" mean I've ever said to you
Yeah.
is not only justified; it was my moral and ethical duty to say it,
Yeah.
based on
I agree with that.
the coffee bean fiasco, is
That's
Yeah.
true.
as they're calling
It was kind of your Bay of Pigs.
as they're calling it in the papers.
Mhm.
Listen, I've revised my stance on the coffee bean thing. I know I was a little bit apologetic last week, but I'm going back to defiant.
Performative,
Oh wow.
Yeah.
performative.
No, I'm.
And now
it's
you
it's
did-
part of
Wow.
You did not want it. You,
I'm,
did,
This
I'm back
is
to
fucking
defiance.
you knew you were in the
bullshit.
wrong.
I'm
You knew
defiant.
you were in the wrong.
And you
I'm
know,
back to
You knew
again,
you were in the wrong, and you
Mm.
didn't want to deal with it at the time because you had no leg to stand on.
I
So now
spent
you're
this
waiting.
weekend with the people.
You're
I did
waiting.
some shows in Nashville. And people came up to me afterwards. They said,
and
that
you know what else
for
Adam
that,
always does?
for that piggy to be
Here's
mad
what
at
he's
you
doing.
about
Here's
not
what he's
getting him food
fucking
when you
doing.
offered him a
Now
coffee.
Now he's trying to use the audience.
Here's
now
what
I
he's-
have the people behind me.
Here's what he's doing.
Now
He's-
that I know this.
Yet again, he buries his despicable bullshit at the end of the fucking
Waits to the end of the
premium.
episode and then says I'm being mean to him and I make things personal.
Well, you better believe, Adam.
Well,
we're
you
about
do.
to stop
I mean,
this,
constantly, it's
and
the
we're
6
gonna have
years of-
lunch.
what-
We're gonna have lunch,
All right.
and we're gonna pick this up at the beginning
I'm
of the,
not-
of the
I'm
first
not
episode
buying.
of
This
the
is-
episode.
I mean, you're not buying.
No.
I packed my lunch.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm buying myself then.
Well, fuck you.
Well, fuck you.
But guess what? We're picking this up right at the beginning of the fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like what you're trying to do, trying to hide these baseless. And you know where you really
Yeah.
fucked up?
Where is that?
Strategically. Now you've made me and Nick bonded allies in the whether he's mean to you or
Oh,
not.
it's all
Prior to this,
conversation.
we hadn't been.
We had not been.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's never. That's
I was
never
willing-
been the
Just,
case.
we were two people that
I was
separately
willing-
did not like you
I
for the
was
same
willing
reason.
to fucking hear you out, okay, and jump on board if you had a good enough rhetorical
I was willing to hear
case.
you out too, because
When?
you say to me, "Oh, you make things personal and you're mean to me." As your friend, I say, "Well, hold on, have I taken it too far?
Yeah.
Have I gone too far?"
On numerous
and
occasions.
then I have to
yeah,
think,
yes.
and then I have to think
Okay,
to
yeah.
myself, "Well, what happened recently?" And then I remember the egregious, despicable
Yes,
interaction
so fucking true.
that happened vis-a-vis the coffee
the
bean
coffee
fiasco.
bean.
Listen, we can revisit this.
And we will at the
And
beginning.
relitigate this.
And everyone now listening to this, you'll understand where the energy came from
Yeah.
on the free episode that you listened to a few days ago.
It's like Memento. We're
this
living this
podcast has
we're-
become Memento.
Yeah, we're living.
where
This
we
podcast
very
goes
often,
backwards.
very often goes backwards, and I actually like.
In
that.
fact, the real fans
That's a
wait till
fun-
Sunday and then they go back to Wednesday.
that's a way to.
That's how the real heads.
That's how the
do
real
it.
motherfuckers do
Yeah.
it. You listen to Wednesday right after.
Well, here's where we're going to start. Is you get to start. We'll open the weekly show, right? The free show in an hour, and you can start off regaling us with the story of how you went on the road and the fans said what to you. They took your side.
Yeah.
They
Yes.
said that it was. They said you guys were being incredibly unfair.
Let's put a
Very
pin in
unfair
this.
to me.
We're going to start
We're
the
gonna
I
come
want
back.
to
I
eat my
didn't know.
chicken.
I
We're
didn't
gonna-
know
we're
that
gonna
that's how the
start this.
people
Yeah.
felt.
So we're going to let you put words in other people's mouths, and we want names. And we're going to get names, and we're going to cross-check this. We're going to call them up on the show.
Thankfully, I have signatures.
Yeah, we're going to call them up on the show, and we're going to ask them.
We will call them.
We'll
up on
find
the
their
show.
numbers. They're in
Yeah.
the white pages.
And so stay back tuned.
Back tuned.
That's what that's the word. Back
Back
tuned.
tuned. She's back tuned.
She was